Well, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to us. Oh, this is the first time that you didn't do something like wacky.
I don't need to do a wacky
That's
intro.
true.
I got the wacky already. We brought the wacky. We brought it.
If you're watching, you can see that we have company again. Our very special friends from Puppet Masters of None. Hi, guys.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Ben
So
and Will
excited.
here with us. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate the time.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh,
Will.
I was gonna say it's an absolute joy to be here because I'm a super fan of your guys' show. So I'm excited. Like I'm ready. Let's start pulling from the hat.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Get
I'm
right
nervous.
into
It's a lot of pressure here.
With all these intros, we already know each other. Let's get to it.
Let's go.
Well, without further ado, let's pull out our first hat.
Let's get this.
The
Yes.
Muppet / quote hat.
We thought it'd be a fun since we get to do this all the time. I'm pulling for Will, and then Ben will go next. So we'll do it that way.
Okay.
So I put
Okay.
this-
Fantastic.
Sounds
This is
Fantastic.
Will pulling right in.
That's nice.
Okay.
There's 4 hats. Wait. Yeah, there's 4 hats.
Actually, for once, I actually had my numbers right on that one. I felt very confident about that. I counted the 4. I felt good about it. I didn't
As a
even
math teacher, I'm
use my
proud.
hands to do it. I counted the 4 all on my own. Here we go. Oh, looks like it is a fact.
Oh, good. We're even. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
You really do listen to the show.
It's awesome.
That ties it up.
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Frank Oz, the voice of Miss Piggy, also does the voice of Yoda in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. He also directed The Dark Crystal alongside Jim Henson and directed a handful of other films with the honorable mentions of Little Shop of Horrors, Death at a Funeral, and The Muppets Take Manhattan. It's a good one.
Absolutely. he did.
Yes. Oh, so
Yes.
great.
And how
Yep.
fitting to have you guys on because you
Yeah.
are fans of Manhattan and Dark Crystal,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. We met Frank Oz.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know
realize
that.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we
shook his hand.
we shook his
Yeah.
hand. We
Oh,
said
that's
hi.
amazing.
We didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
But
What was the vibe? What was he like when you shook his hand for a
I,
millisecond?
I was actually disappointed when I met him because like people were asking him to do like voices and such, like do the Piggy voice, and he was like, no, like these characters are important to me. They're like family.
Oh.
I don't. It's weird for me to do a voice of a character without a puppet. And while I completely understood and I was like, yeah, I get that. I was super disappointed. I'm like, Frank, Frank, come on,
Set
man.
your principles
But-
aside.
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I got, or not a kid, when I was younger, I got to take some acting classes at UCLA. And at the theater one, at the end of it, they had James Earl Jones come and talk to us. And he like answered some questions at the end. And a lot of us got to shake his hand afterwards. And I was standing in this long line. There was these guys in front of me and they were just like, say, I'm your father and things like that to him. And it was really felt really tacky, but I also I get what you mean there too, though. You know, for me, I wanted to. I had some silly acting question I wanted to ask him. For these guys, it was just like, man, that's Darth Vader. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I get different people, different things, and he
Yeah.
still really was very
Yeah.
classy to everybody. I was more surprised by the young ladies and how dang like they loved that man. They really wanted a picture with him. I did not see that coming. I did not.
Ben, what was it like for you to meet Frank Oz?
yeah, it was, to me, what I took from that kind of whole like exchange of like, I don't want to, there was kind of almost a sadness to it. Not like for me, but like watching him, it seemed to me like he's like since stepped back and like retired from puppeteering and stuff. And he had been retired for quite a while. Actually, when we met him, it was at this this like talk that they were doing, and he hadn't even touched a puppet, he said, in like years. And they did have some like puppets and stuff. And I what struck me the most is you can kind of feel this fact that like he and Jim were best friends, doing something together that they loved, and Jim was no longer with us, and you could really kind of feel that in his responses to that kind of thing. Like, and so I completely understand him not wanting to do those voices and things. It was like, this was something that I shared with my friend, and he's no longer here, and so now I don't really want to do that. I had a lot of respect for that, but it was also kind of sad to kind of see.
Yeah.
Just that kind
You
of
see bands like Led Zeppelin, and Page and Plant get together and stuff, and you hear them talk about it like, well, we'll do these things, but there is no more Led Zeppelin. Like that went with Bonham. That went, and you kind of as a fan, you want them to keep kind of going in some ways, but you also get it because you're a fan.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But going back to the fact, that seems to be whenever people talk about Frank Oz, that always seems to be the biggest shock to people is like, A, Piggy was a man, and B, he was also Yoda. People just blows their mind. But
the directing part of it for me, when I first heard that, whatever it was years back, was always maybe the coolest thing to me about him, that to take the passion that he had and the interest and the skill set that he had and flip it into that and be and not just do it but be good at it. Like his directorial work speaks for itself. He directed really good. He's got some good some of the better comedic scenes that we've seen in some parts, and that he was able to parlay his, like, how many puppeteers got to direct feature films, like that alone, like whoever his agent was and stuff too, like
he also
they're good work.
He also did minor role acting stuff, like he was in Blues Brothers, and
he was.
What was the other one? It was it Knives Out, or was it another one like that where he played a guy who was announcing a will, and it was so random that he just comes out.
And it was Frank Oz. I'm almost sure it was Knives Out. I'm almost positive right about that.
I really enjoyed that movie, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He'll show up randomly when you least expect him.
I'm a nerd about credits. Like, especially nowadays with all the tag endings they have. But back in the day, it was random that they'd have a tag ending. But I thought, every movie might have one, so I've got to stay and watch all the credits. And I always end up, paying attention, obviously, to the actor ones, because I'm an actor and we're narcissistic. No, I'm joking. but I did, and seeing his name show up in that was really cool. I didn't expect that.
Yeah. That's a fun tidbit, and what a fun quote to have, or fact to have, with you guys jumping on board. That's really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the most important hat of the show, arguably, the Muppet/Muppet movie hat.
Oh, here we go.
And I will be drawing for. You drew for Will. I will draw for Ben. This one's for you, Ben.
Okay, here we go.
Next time you guys join us, it'll be the other way around. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Better not mess this up.
Oh, this is very
Don't tell me.
What is it?
He knows that I don't are some of the longest moments of my life.
Last time we all talked, Ben, you mentioned that you don't like this character. It's Walter.
Oh,
Walter.
I really love Walter, so this is exciting for me. Oh, have you seen you haven't seen it?
No.
Well, we have to decide if we throw him back in the hat then or not.
Let's do a group. Let's do it, because we've never
vote.
done this before. Let's do a group, because I don't know this character that well. I'm all for going in on it and doing Walter on this one. But if the rest of the guys are game, well, let's draw another. Let's draw another. Especially, we don't get these guys on very often.
That's
we want
true.
a character.
I mean, whatever you guys decide.
Yeah, with Walter, like, I know Bart Rockerburton from UConn used to tell me backstories about when Peter Lintz, the voice of him, first came to the O'Neill, and first, like, so I know a few backstories, but if you don't know Walter, we might have to redraw.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I messed it up. I had one job to draw something good, and I messed it up.
I got like a very little things that she asks of me to do this podcast. She does like 90% of the heavy lifting.
Well, I'm nervous picking it out. Okay.
Walter again? What happened?
There are two Walters. No, this is actually a really big one. It's Miss Piggy.
Oh, I'm so glad we did that. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Continue the Frank Oz conversation.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
For
sure.
Okay.
Oh, chef's kiss. Wow. So,
okay.
How would you guys describe Miss Piggy?
Oh,
that's tough.
Oh boy.
I think.
I was gonna say she's a multi-layered character. You know, she's an onion. Externally, when you first see her, she's Like at the beginning of the Muppets, the one that sorry you haven't seen, James. And she's in like Paris, and she's a fashion designer or whatever. Like when people think of her, they get that image of the fashionista, the boss, censor that word, kind of attitude and stuff. But she does have multiple layers, and I think it comes out like hints here and there. Ben, go ahead. I know you've
Honestly, I think that Frank himself described her best when he described her as a truck driver. That's what Frank Oz was asked one time, like, how do you describe Miss Piggy? And he's like, what is your inspiration for Miss Piggy? And he flat out said, she's a truck driver. And which I think is 100% spot on. Like her
attitude.
That is, yup. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Great Muppet Caper, she does drive the truck with the ham hock radio and everything as well.
Right.
Yeah, but no, that's how Frank always thought of her, and so that's how I like to think of her personally.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
That's amazing. Thank you for bringing that up.
My Papa Bree's great grandpa, who we just lost a little while ago, he was just semi driver for 45 years, 45 years, something like that. Pop was, and as soon as you said that, I started thinking about like the intros of like, if you know truck drivers, you know a little bit about that world and everything. It's so fitting. I have to believe that Frank Oz didn't just randomly throw that out there, that he knew what he was talking about. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good reference, or a good way to describe her.
Yeah. Another fact that we had was that Miss Piggy's full name was like Miss Piggy Lee, and that she she started doing pageants for like money or something. I think that was one of her facts. So I like picturing Miss Piggy starting from these like very humble beginnings and climbing up, and she's really earned her way in the world, and she's like gone outside of the Muppet world. She's an icon for, you don't have to be like thin to be beautiful. And she's a baddie. I love Miss Piggy.
I like that we with the guys, we were just over at their house on their pod and talking about the Christmas family Christmas special, and that one I think is such a great episode, especially if you're introducing somebody to Miss Piggy. Get some of the diva of her in the beginning and everything, and most people kind of like think of when they think of her. What I think of with her is her towards the end, and she's pushing the vehicle. She's getting the dirt on her face, and just that look that she gives and everything. Or when Miss Piggy gets angry, and that voice she gets, that octave that she hits. I love that.
For sure.
I think of that more. That's the real her more, and the diva stuff is that girl that's what she wanted to be, and that's where she was going. I may be overthinking this. But I do like that about the diversity of her character, that she is not just a material girl or any of those things, that she is very, she's that girl from the farm stuff.
Yeah. So one of the interesting about Miss Piggy, just from like a puppeteering standpoint, fact is like she was one of those characters that came out through the Muppet Show and kind of just developed organically, just as like started off as a random pig, and they needed a pig for this, and Jim loved pigs for the amount of like different scenes that he had, pigs in space and all of that. But there are a couple early episodes of the Muppet Show where she's not even performed by Frank Oz. She's actually performed by Richard Hunt. There's like one in particular where she's singing, and like Kermit's like conducting a choir, and she's kind of like the lead vocalist, and this was before she was Miss Piggy, and she's actually being performed by Richard Hunt. So I like the idea of her, like she really is a breakout star of the Muppet Show. Like she was never intended to be this big thing, and then just kind of people love the character, and it came right out of that.
Wild.
I love that for her.
Yeah,
you can certainly tell over the years, especially when we go back and watch highlights or clips or anything of this person voiced it here, this person voiced it later. Can you guys, because I don't know if we'd be able to tell, can you guys tell even with the puppeteering if it's different? As this person was puppeteering it at this time, and this person was doing it this time
without the voice, just by the
movements, even
the movements.
Just even some of that.
I'm gonna not lie. I'm gonna flat out say no.
I don't know enough about, as much as I want to know. I don't know enough about it to where you can tell. Oh, this person had this technique or this style or something like that.
They definitely study each other when they do it, and so. But like for example, a great example of that actually is Muppet Treasure Island. A lot of people don't know that Muppet Treasure Island, Piggy. That's Frank Oz doing Piggy's voice, but Frank Oz is not puppeteering. Piggy. He had pretty much retired from puppeteering at that point. And so he ADR'd all the voice, but it's actually Kevin Clash doing most of his like actual characters' performances. And I could never tell until I didn't find that out until much later. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't him, but I didn't know it was Kevin Clash. That's cool. I didn't know that. Okay.
Wow, we're getting all sorts of fun facts this episode.
Just eating this up.
I have a question for you guys before we put Miss Piggy in some fun scenarios. So she has gone through a lot of different faces, for lack of a better word. So do you guys like what she looked like, before, like in the Muppet Show, or do you like the kind of the glow up she's had in recent movies?
Good.
I like the glow up, but I as Ben and I have said multiple times, we're like second gen Muppet fans. And so really my love for Muppets started, in the Carol and Treasure Island. And then like I started looking back at the older stuff, but really the love for it started probably around the time that Jim passed. So like I think that is the Piggy look that I associate with the best.
Yeah,
I'm gonna agree with that. I think that like the late 80s, early 90s Piggy is my Piggy. The early Muppet Show stuff, some of them are really weird. She's got like little beady eyes. Some of them are real bizarre. But like, late 80s, early 90s Piggy is definitely my Piggy.
Okay. Yeah. I think I like both of them. I like thinking that she did have like this glow up of like, you know what? If I want like a facial job, I'm gonna get one. And she just went for it. What about you?
No, I was just thinking about different Piggy looks, and I thought back on the Muppet Caper, and when Charles Grodin is singing to her and she's doing the synchronized swimming stuff like that. I thought I had this image in my head of Piggy underwater, and that part as a puppet builder drives me insane because it's like, how many puppets did they ruin for that shot? But that was my brain just going off on another tangent.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm glad you did.
Of like seeing her underwater and then thinking, why? Oh, they put that puppet underwater.
That's a great Miss Piggy moment, though.
That's true.
Yeah. You got to do it for the shot. I
that's
have
true.
to tell my students this because they just did their fall play and there were some like puppets in it, like big giant kind of parade puppets.
Oh, cool!
And I had to yell at them because they were using them, but they were like being so precious with them, right? And they were like, and it looked terrible. And I was like, guys, like, no, like beat the heck out of these things. Like the whole point of a puppet is to tell a story. And if you're not going to bother telling the story, just like you don't even should bother with it. So like stop being precious with it. You gotta just do what you can to get the right shot.
I love that.
Right on. Yeah. But you treat them very similar to actors. Like I'll say that's you do what you do to get the shot. That's interesting.
On a very different field. It has nothing to do with Muppets or anything. Have you heard of Star Kid before? Like on
Yes.
Oh, okay, you might see where I'm going with this. Have you seen Starship when they use the puppets?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. I've seen Harry Potter and a couple things, but not that one.
Those are really good. Starship is really cool because it's the first time they're using like puppets on stage, and they're like the bigger ones, kind of like what Lion King does on Broadway.
That's pretty.
So it's like that. Okay, that was my little side quest.
Actually, we mentioned earlier Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. That's what they do in the stage show as well. Those big, giant kind of like.
Cool.
There are a couple. Some of them are like actors, but then some of them are those big, like the mayor and stuff. very, very cool. I love that
As
stuff.
long as we are just going on side quests here and everything. I wanted to ask you guys this because one of the we were talking about it a little bit in ours about the Emmett Otter special and how there were some things that came out of that they were maybe a bit pioneering, if anything, certainly something that they were able to springboard from. One of the things that I heard them mentioning was the slide scene. When they're sliding down and they're able to spin them like we as kids when we slid down and we spun in a circle or any of these things. And I'm watching it and I'm watching it and I also can't help but seeing what I can't see. And seeing whatever the puppeteers are doing and how they didn't, the cords didn't get tangled up when they spun them or these kind of things. That it doesn't seem like that would be something that was revolutionary, but at the time it really was to be able to do what they were doing there. Is that something that like it took them a while to kind of get the handle of the kind of almost marionette kind of thing, doing it from up here as opposed from down here?
I would say, yeah. I mean, because if you look at it, there's definitely some stuff that doesn't look good, like particularly in that special, right? Like when they're like I always hated like there's like particularly one scene where they're walking down the street,
the high knees,
right? And it's just like, ooh, that doesn't. But yeah, but that's the thing is they were always trying all of these new things and they just got better and better and better at it. And it's like those marionette things is then where we get Kermit riding the bicycle, right? Because then they're using the marionettes for that and all. So it's always just iterating upon the different things that they've done in the past. And like as much as I dislike watching that, it makes me really uncomfortable to see that scene. It's like, well, they needed that to get to here, to get to here, to get to here. Right. And just their willingness to do anything is awesome.
Emmett clumped so Kermit could bike.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know in previous episodes, you guys talked about the Kermit riding the bike, and I've always loved how they did that one with like the pictures from zoomed out, and you could see like the forklift driving behind it. Yeah, amazing.
I love like how much effort goes into even just like that one moment because it internalizes, like it gets to live on forever, and they did it right.
I had a class in high school where our teacher played for us Steven Spielberg's like college film that he did for his college thesis or something like that. And it's a cool thing, and you can see in it like, wow, he took this angle and would do it later in Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff and these things. You're just sitting back, especially for me as somebody who wants to get into this industry at 17, 18 or whatever I was, and like, oh God, this guy was so good. And then you see this scene where he wanted to film on top of a mountain and film down. And as they're going, you could see him in the shot, like his camera shot in the camera. And he had to go through that to get to where Schindler's List. He had to go through these moments to get to even no matter how great or how talented you are, we all start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Break our bones.
For sure.
Well, are you guys ready to put Miss Piggy in?
Okay,
yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I gotta say, I think it was a good call throwing out the other. We're bringing Miss Piggy doing a recall.
Walter again.
Walter.
I do like the character of Walter, but if you don't know that movie, then it's gonna be a really difficult episode.
Got a few movies for you to watch.
We do. We got some homework to do. I got some homework to do.
Well, we have this Muppet hat.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
All right. What would be this Muppets major in college?
Ooh. Okay. Could go off in a few different directions.
There's a lot of angles we can go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
interesting because they do go to college in it's Manhattan, right?
Manhattan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all theater majors, right? I think
so.
Like, I mean, they're in theater, but
there was I was gonna say I don't think they ever say that that's their major, but they're all in the show. But I think the obvious one that just like smacks you in the face is like fashion design or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
Like
I think that one's so but there's got to be
like business market.
Business management is
or management.
Awesome.
Yeah, because she's always doing something to like promote herself, or maybe like social media manager for like a newer
That's how, if she went like today, social media, for sure.
I like the idea too of
Okay.
Miss Piggy going in a completely like different direction to like a history teacher, like Miss Piggy the history teacher. I like that for some reason.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
She would whip those kids into shape. That chocolate.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Miss Piggy would be in like a fraternity in college?
The sorority? Oh, absolutely.
Oh, a sorority.
I feel that 100%. Yeah. I feel like she
She's
definitely
not getting
sorority.
allowed in one. And
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Were you guys in like a group like that in college or anything?
No, we were puppet majors.
We just
that was it.
We had this like the 3 of us, the 4 of us that were just
It was a small group of puppet majors that were just like
our
first
little
little
family. That's
Will and I did room together.
We did.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's so wholesome.
I went to a frat party in college. That's the closest I ever got to a frat. That's
nice.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah. I didn't mean to brag, brag.
Whoa.
Drop that out there.
I look at you totally different now.
Thinking about Piggy in college is kind of bringing up in my brain previous episodes that you guys did with Fozzie Goes to College. And so now I'm like thinking about Fozzie in college, but now Piggy in college, and it's really throwing me off because I'm trying to put these two separate here.
They like cross each other on campus.
But would they be friends? Would they even talk to each other? I don't
know. Yeah. I feel like Fozzie would try to, and Piggy would just be like,
because like the glue of them is Kermit. They both have Kermit, and without Kermit, would they even speak?
Yeah.
Or is there a love triangle there that didn't happen until Kermit? Because tell me you couldn't see Piggy and Fozzie in college together, and Fozzie falling for Piggy, but Piggy putting him in the friend zone, and then Kermit comes around. And
could be.
Again, this may be projecting of my own.
Okay.
No, I think that I think they probably would have been friends if for any other reason. At that time, Piggy could probably use the confidence builder. And and I'm sure that Fozzie I think Fozzie, if you even show him a little bit, he's going to give you loyalty. That guy's got your back and be there from to the end of time.
Yeah. I think if there is a time where they cross, maybe they're in the same like improv group or something.
Yeah, there we go.
Brought together in that way.
That's good.
I can kind of see like later when they collaborate on like the Muppet Show, and Fozzie's like, Miss Piggy, oh my God, Peggy Lee, like I haven't seen you since college, and she's like, who are you?
Yes.
Oh, doesn't remember you.
Definitely, yeah. We had like 8 classes together.
Waka waka, ring a bell.
Waka.
All right.
That's funny. I really wish we had another hat at this point.
We're just gonna stretch this out as long as we can.
We like to talk about our favorite moments with a particular character before we like dive into the next hat? So maybe we can touch on that if we have any favorite Miss Piggy moments. I think the first one that I think of is from the Muppet movie, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before. My sisters and I would rewind like that movie like nobody's business to watch the karate part of Miss Piggy's when tied up. Like,
Mel Brooks
when her eyes are super big when she turns around. It's just so funny. That's the first one that pops in my head.
There are moments when Piggy goes into her Hulk mode, like in Manhattan when she's chasing after the guy on roller skates. You know? And it's clearly somebody in a bodysuit, but she's just rage, you know.
Honestly, though, I think that one is one of the most effective moments when the person in the bodysuit, like that bodysuit, looks like Piggy.
With
the roller skating. I've always obviously it's someone in a bodysuit, but like I'm very surprised how good it's much better than the one in Caper when like she like dives off of that one is terrible. That one's like that one looks like something you find in like Central in Times Square in New York City, right? Like the like off-brand Piggy. But the Manhattan one's real good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Piggy moment is in Caper, of course, the motorcycle just coming in through the stained glass window and the flying at what's his name? Nikki there.
Yeah.
Oh, just so iconic. Just the glass shattering and everything. I love that. Absolutely love it.
That was a great moment. When Will was talking, I was thinking about the motorcycle scene because it is very iconic.
I was saying earlier, I liked any time that Piggy went angry. That like at the end of the special there when Kermit gives her the mink, and she's like, "This isn't the mink I meant," and all that. And everything. I always like that tone of her. I don't know where this comes from or why I like it so much, but there's a handful of times we see Piggy in Viking gear. And anytime she's in Viking gear, I just get it's that much. It takes the character a little bit funnier to me, like a little bit. And I don't know why. I have no interest. I have no idea why, but it just makes it that much more funny to me. Or that the scene she's doing, especially if it's operatic, it's just so. It's such a callback to where I don't even know what generations we even get that reference or that joke anymore. But I love that they still do it.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Speaking of operatic, I love it when Piggy sings, and so it's like never before in
I was
in
thinking of that. Yes.
But also Love Lettuce Here in Muppet Treasure Island. Actually, that's my first thought of Piggy when I think of my favorite Piggy moments is them hanging upside down and singing Love Lettuce Here. I love that scene. It's nice. And then the rope breaks and Kermit's holding on to her. And
and the face.
The face. It's a classic moment. I love that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Honestly, one that I love that's kind of almost anti-Piggy is her as Emily Cratchit. There's just something very, very sweet about that you don't generally see Piggy do, but it is still very Piggy. I don't know what about it. But like those really tender moments between her and Kermit and like with Robin as Tiny Tim. I don't know. I really, really enjoy those.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Then her real personality slips out a little bit when she's insulting Scrooge, and it's just goes on and on and on about how
that's exactly what I was gonna say. I like when she flips back into her own personality, and she was like, "I'm not playing this part anymore."
Yeah.
I had a moment in my head. Oh, it was when you were talking about the singing. I know that some people in the call don't like Muppets Most Wanted, but there are some pretty good songs in there, and I do.
Yes. They're for sure.
Yeah, and I really like her duet with Celine Dion. I just think that was like one of my favorite songs in like the movie. I'm really excited for you to see that because it was just great. And she's really funny in that movie too.
Yeah. The music in both of those by Brett McKenzie from Flight of the Conchords. I think that's definitely a highlight of both of those films.
Yeah.
He just does a great job with those songs. They're just Muppety, kind of silly, but also clever enough. Love them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, if anybody doesn't have any more Piggy moments, we can triumph into our last hat.
Yeah. Let's
do it.
I was trying to think. I honestly was just trying to think of something. What is a question I could ask to keep this going?
No. Does it go this fast when you're actually doing it? When I'm listening to it, it doesn't seem like it's going this fast, but it's flying by.
It is flying by, and it doesn't normally. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to drag our heels.
I was going to ask because Ben and us were talking about this beforehand, and we didn't get a chance to ask you about it, Will. We were at like of all the Muppets we've already pulled. Was there one that you guys wish? Oh, I wish I was a part of that episode. I wish I was on the Rizzo episode. Was there something like that? One of those for you?
I can't name one in particular, but I have to say there have been multiple times. I always listen to your show when I'm driving to work, and there have been multiple times sitting behind the wheel, just going, no, like just like I have yelled out to you guys in my car multiple times. I can't think of one in particular. Shoot, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. That's not fair. Ben's got to think. I've got to put on the spot.
Already great.
Yeah, mine would be Lips or Sweetums. I love Sweetums. I already said that one, but Lips as well. I love Lips.
Yeah, I so wish I would have like seen the Mayhem show before we pulled Lips, because I would have had some maybe different answers. Because after seeing that, I love Lips even more. He's
got some great moments in that.
He really does. Yeah, he's so much fun.
I remember thinking that too. Like when you guys were doing lips, I was like, "Oh, they haven't seen that show though."
Yeah,
but
I know. Based off of what you said, Will, I think it was in our last recording, which hasn't premiered yet, but it will at a different time. I think I said that I have like a fear of people yelling at us.
Right.
Because of things that we probably have missed and stuff. Because after we're done recording, I'm like, oh, I should have said this or whatever. So that's just super fun.
It's mostly though out of excitement too, because it's oh, I know that.
Yes.
You know, that
excited
kind of stuff.
kid in class.
Yes, yeah.
I always have the thing in my head as I'm listening. I'm like, oh, I want to email. No, don't be that guy. Like, you know, don't be the guy that's going to email all the time.
No,
I have to check myself.
Okay, well, now that you've told me to, I will.
Well, I have actually sent you guys messages mid-episode, and then you answer it halfway through, and I'm like, shoot, now I look like an idiot.
No, but you definitely should shoot an email. That's why I plug our email at the end of like the episode.
Okay.
I think it would be fun.
Okay, good. Yeah. I just didn't want it to be a moment. It's like, oh my god, it's them two again. It's about something again.
We're not here for you guys enough. Anybody really, but especially you guys.
Yeah,
and
we'd love that.
Maybe we're coming up with new episodes here to do in the future where we go back and revisit these certain episodes and everything together. All of us, we can really get. Oh yeah, now that we know this, we can talk about this character a little better or different or something. Anything that stretches this out longer, like any I'm fine with that.
Oh, speaking of which, I thought of a Piggy fact that's just might be a little interesting.
Yeah.
Is the reason why Piggy wears the lame gloves.
Oh, yeah.
So interesting fact is Piggy was getting so popular. And they needed her for so many different, like, a photo shoot here, a little thing here, a little promo here, that there was mainly one puppet builder who was making her. It's like her name was Bonnie Erickson, and it was like her job. She designed Piggy, and it was her job to make all the piggies, and they couldn't make piggies fast enough. And it was like, oh, I need piggies, we need piggies, we need piggies, and one of kind of the difficult things is making hands because they're like kind of small. You got to carve them and then, and then like put in like wire to like pose them and stuff. And so she came up with the idea of, I'm not going to build a hand. I'm going to take this glove and I'm going to stuff it and I'm going to quickly sew it on. And so that's how she got her iconic, like purple lame or silver gloves. It's literally they just couldn't make the puppet fast enough for the demand, and so they were like, okay, we're just gonna stuff this glove and tack it on and ship it right on out.
Oh my god,
I always thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's super cool to like know the behind the curtain kind of that, because I would have just thought she's fabulous. Of course she has gloves on.
It's it's the moments that you sit and you're watching and like, wow, that's a really cool costume choice. I think that was really smart of them. No, it was just this reason. It was, I love stuff like that. Dustin Hoffman smashing on the car in New York. I'm walking here, and it's just because somebody tried to kill Dustin Hoffman while it was walking across the street.
Really?
Like,
so many people say that. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Yeah. Wow,
that's interesting. I'm so glad you told us that. That is really cool.
Just facts flying everywhere this episode.
Yeah, you got it.
I love it. All right. Here it is. The would you hat.
Yeah.
For Miss Piggy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here we go. Here it is. Gotta unfold it. Okay. Would you set this Muppet up with a Muppet friend of yours? How interesting we pulled this when we were talking about her and Fonzie having a
that's which I feel like I should take a side note and apologize to everybody for that. I don't know where my mind was going with that. I don't know what.
That was great.
Unpack it later.
Yeah. That's what therapy's for.
I have multiple questions to that. Like, A, who is my Muppet friend? And B, is this because for her benefit? Clearly, her and Kermit aren't going anywhere. You need to move on. There's this other guy. He's really great.
I like that spin on it. Yeah.
Like he's Swedish, but he's really nice.
Right. You may only understand every third word that he says. Boy, can the guy cook. The guy.
Yeah.
I do like that spin on it of coming from like a caring friend side. Like, hey, like I love Kermit, but like I don't think it's going anywhere, sweetheart. Like you really got to move on. And I've got the perfect guy for you.
I like in this version of this universe or whatever that they didn't work out. So all of us feel a little bit better that we're not like cheating on Kermit with her.
Yeah.
Like we're not contributing. We're not
right.
If this is brought up in court, we can't. It's not our fault. They were already done. They were already done, Kermit. These imaginary characters were worried about hurting Kermit's feelings. I know I am.
Yeah.
I know I am.
It's a mutual decision.
Good point. Yeah. But it's weird to think too, like this is going deeper than it needs to be, but it's like my parents have been together since they were 15, 14. And the idea of even just when they joke and stuff, and my mom will say, I thought this guy was cute in high school or whatever, or something like that. I can't even imagine them with somebody else or something. And thinking of how these two have been together so long, like just even imagining Miss Piggy like flirting with Beaker or something. I can't even do it. I don't know why I was Beaker. But what about this too? What about what Muppet Miss Piggy would use to try to make Kermit jealous?
Ooh,
that too, because I don't know who. Well, the bear from Otter, like
well, looking at in Muppet Treasure Island, it's implied that she's had multiple relationships when
with Tim Curry,
including with Tim Curry. And so that does make me think I can kind of imagine it because of that. Because of you stretching your imagination to her outside. But the concept of who you would put her up with, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Ben, were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I do have an idea, and you guys might not like it at first, but you just gotta hear me out. Okay, so
all right.
Who has been there for Miss Piggy through her like vulnerable moments of like she's frantic, she's trying to get on stage? Who's seen like the raw side of Miss Piggy?
Oh, I know where you're going.
Scooter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems so. It's Occam's razor is right there. That's so good. That's
yeah.
I think like Scooter's a very like nice guy, and he can get into kind of like for quote unquote girlier stuff. Like we had canon that he's what was that show? Like he's a big like Sex and the City fan or something, or Housewives. Absolutely. Like he's a real housewife.
Sure. Yeah.
And
perfect.
And as a stage manager, he has to be able to juggle multiple things going on at once and be able to put out fires everywhere.
Yeah.
And with Piggy, I feel like you'd be constantly just like.
And I think he's like a commitment person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's looking for that. And I feel like he's very nice, but he does have that side where he can be direct. And I think Miss Piggy needs that. Like, Kermit's very kind of, I love him for it because I'm the same way, like kind of on the fence sometimes. So
I put Miss Piggy in this almost 50s era of star sometimes kind of thing. So maybe that's why I'm doing this. But I also like the idea is that it's always been weird to me when you see some of those couples of the 50s, Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, and some of these things. And it's like, well, that didn't just, we've got like a couple of those, Lyle Lovett and, Julia Roberts, like, but there's not too much of that nowadays. You don't see as much of it. I like the idea of Miss Piggy and Sam the Eagle being like out on the red carpet, like they're debuting their relationship. They're bringing it to the public, to the masses, and we're all just left to love. Like, what?
How does that?
How did that happen?
What do they talk about?
What? Just it's a sheer shock value for her of doing it.
Very shock value. I just imagine like one of them coming home and he's like, how are you today? Did you have an American day?
or going back to one of my favorite lines of his, what am I even doing here?
Yes. Going back to the Scooter idea for a second, though, I feel like in that scenario, like Scooter's really into it and Piggy is just completely friend zoned in.
Yeah. It's a good
like, to me, that's that dynamic.
I'm gonna be on Scooter's side then, because then he's the one that got away. Because what a catch!
Oh, for sure.
I could easily see Scooter as being friend zoned though. Like
his whole life. Yeah.
But maybe to the devil's advocate, she's been waiting on Kermit for so long fine. And she's like, you know what? I know what I want. I know what I deserve. And Scooter's like, I've been here the whole time. And I've always like admired you. And maybe she's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a shot.
He's Ducky. He's her Ducky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Deep cut. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great reference.
Okay.
That just immediately pictured him too. As I immediately pictured him, like as soon as you said it, the hat, everything. That's good.
So we've got Scooter and Sam the Eagle in the mix.
I also I don't know if this is just where I'm going with it or because she just popped in my head, but I always want to call her Lips, not Lips. The other
Janice.
Janice and Miss Piggy. I like that. I like that.
The world couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So amazing.
they're so different, and yet I think they're so good together.
I love Miss Piggy because she's just herself. And
that's a great Janice. I love that.
Oh, we need more of that. Oh, that was good.
I love Janice. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
I could see Janice in her yoga meditation though, and like Piggy not having anything to do with it.
That's
like,
true.
Just, no,
they have to have their own hobbies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This could be a summer fling. I don't know. If it's gonna last. I don't know if it's.
Yeah.
Like I just picture Janice doing her yoga poses and Piggy just like, I'm out. Or
maybe Janice is doing yoga and like the other side of the room, Miss Piggy's doing her like karate exercise.
There we go.
Yeah. It's they meet together in Tai Chi, and that's
there you go. Yeah.
It is.
We don't give enough credit to Miss Piggy's kung fu because like every time she did it, it was always just one chop and she'd knock it.
Oh yeah. No,
she's the one touch and boom, and the guy's out.
I love seeing her like hair whip when she That's so funny. Oh man, I really like the idea of Janice and Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bit of a spin-off there, but you guys messed up. You did too good of a job. You're gonna have to come back. You're gonna have to back this again with
absolutely.
us.
So much fun.
You've definitely given me a lot to think about with Miss Piggy, though. I keep like my brain is just constantly working. I'm like thinking of different scenarios.
You'll have to shoot us an email.
Yeah.
This is what I actually love about your guys' show is like we sit and we like talk about this stuff, like all like the technical stuff and like, oh, we know this and blah, 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 blah. But like listening to you guys, it really gets me to think about these things that I would have never even imagined. And it's just so much fun. Like just like put things in these scenarios and just like why would you ever do this? I don't know, but it's so much fun to do.
Aww,
so thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun this is the first time we've done it with somebody else like contributing to it. So thank you guys for coming on. It was really fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. This is like dream come true.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
We're gonna do this again. We're definitely
sure. All right. Let's do it.
Watch us pull Walter again when you guys come on.
Oh gosh. Well, hopefully James has seen it by then.
I'll have seen it by then. I'll have seen it.
There we go. Yeah.
In there.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. And thank you everybody for watching and tuning in.
Do yourself a favor if you haven't done it already. Go into wherever you get your podcast, wherever you take this stuff in, and find Puppet Masters of None. Subscribe to that page. Support these guys and support what they're doing. It's awesome.
Yeah, we've only said it a million times on almost every episode we've had.
We're some of your better advertisers.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've given us enough enough head nods. Thank you.
Big fans. We really are big fans of what you guys do. It's what we do. We really wanted this to be very organic, very natural, and it's like the one thing I do creatively that I don't overthink or over prep for or anything. With that, when I'm listening to these later, I get frustrated sometimes, like, oh, I got that fact wrong, or I got this wrong. I appreciate that we can do this, and that there are people out there that can not only correct it, but that can have fun with that part of it, that we don't irritate, that we don't you never want to offend somebody by not getting something right. And it's nice to hear that, for whether it's from you guys or others, that you get that part of the show. On the other side of it, though, that's what I love about your show, that you guys have that technical side of things. We get to we hear insight on stuff that we wouldn't get otherwise.
Yeah, just fountains of Muppet puppet knowledge.
It's got to go somewhere. Otherwise, otherwise we just annoy our wives. Like,
yeah, exactly. When Ben and I first got together to talk about doing a podcast, it was like, what do we do with all this useless information about the Muppets, like about puppets in general? But yeah, we have a lot of fun.
I love that.
It shows too.
Yeah. When did you guys start your show?
March. Was it March of last year? Yeah, something like that.
March of last year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, your podcast.
No, it would have been much later.
Oh,
than
no.
That,
No,
you're
right.
It would have been May because it would have been.
I
would definitely would have been after I had finished the musical because there's no way I would have started it. My kids' show. Yeah. So
it was May. You're right. It was May.
So like a little, like over a year, then.
Oh no, less than a year.
Less than a year. So about half a year.
Oh.
Yeah. We're only on episode. I think we're only 10 episodes ahead of you, maybe 8 episodes ahead of you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Like yeah, that's funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys so much. We'll definitely be
Thank you.
collabing again.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
And-
for sure.
Yeah, and you should follow all of our stuff on social media at our names.
Insert names. Insert names.
Yeah, if you're watching, you'll probably see it on the screen or something later. But
Absolutely.
until then, you guys stay Muppety.
Stay Muppety, everybody. And thank you, Puppet Masters and None, and all of you great listeners out there for helping us find the Rainbow Connection.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.